Holding you back any longer, let's see The Talos Principle by Azorae.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Talos Principle by Azorae. I'm Azorae. This is The Talos Principle, one of the two directions. I'm not sure which way they've cropped me. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening and are ready to see this game get demolished in hopefully under 53 minutes, including the cat ending. Without further ado, I think we can just go ahead and get started. I do want to talk a little bit before I get started because the first 25 seconds of this run are actually some of the most intense gameplay that we've got. So the Talos Principle is as I mentioned in my interview, it is a philosophical puzzle game. It's based off of the engine of a fast-paced first-person shooter, which gives us a little bit of a strange mismatch. So we will be solving very few actual puzzles. We will instead be doing lots of platforming. This game is going to look a little bit more like Mirror's Edge than it is The Witness. So I guess with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Timing is going to start as soon as I clear the white screen in front of me, so I'll count that in. And as long as it's close enough, it should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1. Elohim's Garden.
Behold, child, you are risen from the dust, and you.
So, as I mentioned, the first 25 seconds of this run are some of the most intense platforming, so I'm going to go ahead and try to focus on that. Because once we have landed, okay, we have a run and we don't have to reset. Perfect. So what I did there was I grabbed a jammer. A jammer is the first puzzle element that you acquire. Here's another one right here. Jammers are used to turn things off in the environment. You can see that there's barriers, there's little explosive mines, and the turret, which I kind of sniped from across the planet, all get turned off by this jammer. But more importantly for the speed run, we can actually use it as an item booster. You'll notice in the top right we have my kind of performance readout. The number in the top is my frame rate, which is currently 300. Kind of peaks at about 500 at different parts of the run, depending on how much is rendered. And the physics in this game is tied to the frame rate. So I've cranked all my settings all the way down, which is why this looks like a PS2 game. And with that, I can have enough frame rate to get boosted by all of the items in the game, pretty much on top of whatever I want to get up to.
You are most
So I'm
diligent.
doing a clean sweep of the first level here, because this is all sigils. We need to get all of the sigils. That includes these tetrominos, as well as the 30 stars, which are hidden away and kind of outside the box thinky puzzles. With that 7th sigil, we can leave, and we are finished with A1. Just like the Portal 2 co-op, right? Once you're out of calibration, you can breathe a sigh of relief because you're not, you don't have that threat looming over you. Yeah, A1, for anybody who watches my stream at twitch.tv/Azrae, knows that A1 is a reset hell. But we made it out pretty cleanly. So we're doing a star solution right now. Normally what you would do is scan this QR code, which I need to do to unlock paint later anyways. But you would do it with an actual QR reader. There is an actual mechanic in this game where you can leave QR codes for your Steam friends. I've left one right there for myself to line up this grab. That one isn't read automatically by the robot. You need to scan it with another real-life QR reader. And it gives you some hexadecimal code that you have to translate, and it gives you some cryptic thing about the moon landing, and then there's a clock and whatever. But the long and the short of it is you hit those 2 pillars, it drains the water, and you can get one of the stars. So are we counting this as an intended solution? Maybe. I mean, I didn't run it through a QR scanner and a hex converter, but I pressed the 2 pillars correctly and was able to grab that star. So fantastic work, everybody. We solved the moon landing puzzle. Quick double here from these 2, and we are moving on to the last sigil in this area. Okay. So that's kind of what the general gameplay loop of this run looks like, right? We enter a puzzle. Sometimes we don't even enter the puzzle through the front door. A lot of the times we'll sneak in through the back way. We're going to see that a lot in the next world coming up. And we'll find the most direct route to the very end, pretty much ignoring the whole puzzle portion. And this is why we're collecting these tetrominos, these Tetris pieces, is to fill in those puzzles. The puzzles are always all the same, so you can just memorize them and fill them out very quickly. That's quite nice. Now we're in the Hall of Windows, the Window Hall. Grab the jammer. Now this jammer is going to be quite invaluable for us going forward. We're going to take it over this Come in through the back way to grab this sigil. Sneak back out the back way. And normally you need to get a key from that level to open up a locked gate over there to grab a jammer that's normally outside, but we can just use the one that we've stolen to grab a star as we make our way over to the last sigil in the level. And we will be done with A3. Moving on to A4, which has a couple of very interesting properties to it. So, everything in the physics, like I said, is tied to the frame rate. And we're going to be doing a trick right now that actually wants your frame rate to be lower rather than higher. It's called a bump jump, where you jump off of a rock or something small on the ground and get a little bit of extra height off of it, kind of bumping off of it. So what I'm going to do is grab that star, which causes this glitch storm, and because of the lowered frame rate, it actually makes it a lot more consistent to do that. And I got bump jump first try at a GDQ. Can you believe it? I literally cannot believe it. That's the first time anything has ever gone right for me in a GDQ run, so that's pretty good. Branch it out there. There's one of the 3 puzzles that we saw was intended. It's kind of just a tutorial for the laser connector. The laser connector connects lasers. Don't cross the streams. I'm going to directly disobey the name and cross the streams. It gives you a little bit of lenience there. Checked my achievements, by the way. That's a hallmark of any successful Talos run. There's a little bit of lenience when you cross the streams so that you don't instantly chop any laser that you walk past. So walking through them 3 times actually gives you that lenience on both lasers at the same time, just long enough to open the door and grab the sigil. So those puzzles are completely random, and I'm a 4,000 IQ genius and can solve them very quickly. That one unlocked the cube, or the hexahedron as this game calls it. Quick reset mobile minefield. This is a cycle-based level, so that gets the mine out of the way. First try gate jump. This run is actually, like, kind of good. I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. Alright. Cliff climb to grab the star, and onwards to deception. So, we might get our first instance of paint in the run. If we are unlucky, deception paint is actually one of the slower paint routes. But that paint that I'm talking about that unlocks the QR codes is actually quite useful for the speedrun, and we'll see why in A7 and going forward. We'll try to boost off these stairs here. Got a little bit of boost, not too bad. And then we're going to use bichromatic entanglement twice. We're going to use it first to get its own sigil. It's very nice. And then we're going to use it again to grab a door too far, which is over in this direction. This wall doesn't actually exist. Shoutouts to having speedrunners on your friends list. I've got some QR codes in out-of-bounds places. We're gonna hop over these walls. These walls are much slipperier than they look. Much more slippery than they look. I make it look easy because I've been speedrunning this game for 6 years now. Time makes fools of us all, especially when we spend that time speedrunning, right?
Long ago, I shaped these lands according
Okay,
to the
A5. Interesting weather effect in A5. It's raining, and it cycles to be sunny every time you grab a sigil. So I've actually routed this level out such that it's not raining, which means my frame rate is higher, when I need the highest frame rate possible to do a jump called Terrible Jump V2. Terrible Jump V2 is called that because the jump is terrible, and it's the second version of it. Shoutouts to the Greg Egg tweet. I'm going to use this jump to grab a sigil. I'm going to use this jump to grab another sigil. This jump is a little bit finicky. Remember, these walls are actually quite slippery. I missed that twice. Can you believe it? Can you believe that I've missed a jump in my GDQ run? Who invited this guy? All right. So here's what I'm talking about for that frame rate. You can notice the sun is kind of shining. Here's our terrible jump. We get up here, and like I said, this jump is terrible. Well, it only took 2 tries, which isn't bad. I'll take a 2-try terrible jump. We'll just hop right over this fence, and finally we need to grab the star and the sigil for friendly crossfire to be on our way. I need to time this just right so that I don't get shot. Oh no, I got shot! I tricked you. I tricked you. Consider yourself tricked, GDQ chat. Perfect. Onwards. And upwards. A7, we will definitely be getting paint this time. We can spawn either here, which is normal paint, or behind that statue, which is weird paint. So we're on one of the normal paint tracks. It's not bad. So windows into a labyrinth. We're going to be using a paint nozu. Now a nozu jump is a special kind of item jump where you retain the item that you jumped from you place the item down, you jump, and then you grab the item while you're moving upwards. Timing is a little bit tight, but it's not too bad. And it's useful a lot to preserve items while you're jumping with them. I'm going to be using it a lot here and trapped inside. We're going to be using this cliff to kind of weasel our way over to this sigil, and then doing another cliff climb to get up here so that I can jump very easily into the sigil for pinhole windows. Like that. We've landed it. All right, a sigil and a star left to go for World A, and we will be zooming. So just 2 little barrier jumps to wrap it up, and while I am finishing up World A and moving on to World B, we've got time for a couple of donations.
Sure. We actually have a donation from somebody you might know here.
I don't know anybody.
We have $10 from Funny Name, who says, I normally use my Twitch Prime to sub to Azorae, but this month I subbed to GDQ instead. Seems only fair I donate during his run, right? Much love to everyone working on this event to make it possible.
It does seem only fair.
Yeah, it does seem fair. And I know I asked for a $5 train earlier, and we actually had a couple come through, but this one's most interesting. It's a haiku that says, a $5 train, a misplaced decimal point, all for a good cause. And that's $500 from Kimani28.
Wow.
That's insane. Wow, thank you so much.
A poet and a philanthropist, thank you very much.
At the same time.
Eternal life.
All right.
That
So we've entered World B. You'll notice that we are now in Egypt. So I mentioned this is on the Sirius engine, the Sirius Sam games. All tend to have the same 3 biomes, right? You have like the ancient ruins, you've got Egypt, and then you've got medieval castles. Spoilers, World C is going to be medieval castles. And I guess they stay in their lane, they do what they're good at, and we've kind of got some reused assets from Sirius Sam. But it's actually cool because this is mentioned in the game's lore. The Talos Principle is actually a program that's been made by some scientists, some computer programmers, because of some apocalyptic event. There's some extinction level event that's going to wipe out humanity, and this is their attempt to save the future, right? So they're trying to get these robots, I'm playing as a robot, to understand logic, and they're running them through these trials. And there's a line by Dr. Alexandra Drennan, one of the scientists working on the project, that talks about we're building out of the future out of scraps of old video game code. So I think that's a nice little way to lampshade the fact that they're using a bunch of assets from their previous games, which is very cool. Shout outs to Sirius Sam 4, by the way, one of the sponsors we're about. Hopefully they can finish that game soon so that they can start working on the Talos Principle too. Okay. So B2. Nice and nighttime now, very comfy. We need to go through higher ground to grab a sigil, and then we're going to be introducing a new trick here. Well, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you. It's not new to the run, and we've been doing it for a while, but we haven't done it yet in the run, and I think it's one of the flashier things in the speed run. So we'll see that as soon as I sneak up here into the tomb. So the tomb has a yellow S, but we're not actually going to grab it. We're going to grab the star and then do a little bit of mountain goat parkour to get over to this side. And of course I fell, because why would anything nice ever happen to me during my GDQ run? Fortunately, there's a backup. There's backups on backups on backups in this game for just about everything. Oops, now I'm sliding around. There we go. And this trick is relatively precise, so I need to line myself up on this pebble, look directly at this man's very nice armpit, change my frame rate to 60, and then I will do nothing. How anticlimactic. Fantastic. Everybody please clap. All right. Try once more. There we are. So we launch ourselves into the tomb to grab the sigil. Fantastic. That's a cube jump. Like I said, they're very precise. You can see I was misaligned very slightly on the pebble and couldn't get the jump. So if you put a cube on one side of a barrier, actually if you put anything on one side of a barrier and you try to grab it from the other side, you'll actually slide towards that item. And that's to prevent you from, for instance, stealing a jammer through a barrier, which is still possible, by the way. It's just much more difficult. And using that slide, we can actually kind of stick ourselves to some things, and that causes some strange physics things to occur. For instance, this fan slide Normally the fan puts you over here. I do as a demonstration and not a mistake, I promise. But if I hold the correct inputs, I can actually stick myself and launch myself directly into the sigil. Now we're going to be using this Eagle's Nest cube to do quite a bit in this area, including another cube jump. So we need to jump into the pit to grab the star. We need to come back up to the same place. This strat is actually a couple of seconds slower than the optimal strat, but it's a lot easier, which is A+ for marathon consistency. And also, I do this strat in my world record run because I hate the other strat. Fine then. I guess we get to demonstrate it because I fell. Oops. Oh, all right. We're sliding. You'll notice that the commentary is paused. I had perfectly mapped out every beat, assuming that I would make no mistakes. So as soon as I make a mistake, I run immediately out of things to say because I'm not very clever. Okay. So we need to line this up right there. Set our player speed to slow, which affects the trajectory of the jump, and set our frame rate to 60. If we leave our frame rate uncapped, it actually just sends us into the stratosphere and resets us back to the origin of the level. Just because you just literally cannot go that high. That's all of that done, though. We're moving on to B4. Now, anybody who's familiar with this game may know that you need the recorder to get all of the sigils in B4. Well, I don't need the recorder to get all of the sigils in B4. That's because I'm better than you at this game. So what I'm going to do instead of using the recorder is just, hopping over the wall, the connector. Now, this connector is actually very important, so we're going to break it out. I'm going to connect the Sphinx's belly to the top of the pyramid. This is another intended solution-ish. I guess we didn't break the connector out properly, so I'm not going to count it. But we're going to be using this paint here in order to get ourselves on top of all of these statues that are very conveniently placed and very, very conveniently sloped that we can skip basically every single puzzle in B2 using the same little motif here. So as I'm using this same little motif here, now is another great time to do a couple donations.
Yeah,
also
again,
some 200K hype in chat.
I know, check that out. 200K, let's go, guys.
Let's do it. Awesome.
It's probably because of this train that's going on right now. We're getting a bunch of donations in here. We have $5 from MK146 that says trains. We have $5 from Sudibo San who says all aboard the $5 train, choo choo hype, as well as an anonymous $5 donation here. Another $5 donation from Enfro99 that says, I heard something about trains. Thank you guys for those train donations. Can I read one more?
Yeah, go for it.
How about $1,000 from Anonymous?
Okay, yeah, you can read one more.
I can read one more.
that one's
They
fine.
say, shoot the bullet, hype. Thanks for all the hard work, GDQ staff. No, thank you, Anonymous. Thank you so much.
Wait, is there a shoot the bullet run?
I guess so.
Awesome.
somebody really wanted us to know.
Nice to see some Toho love in the GDQ. All right, moving on to B5. B5 is tricky because there's a non-zero chance that I land in Happy Infant Prison, which is not where I want to be. So I need to make sure that I line my cube jump up just precisely because there are several bad outcomes for this one and only one good outcome. So I need to connect all of these up. That actually looks kind of like I'm doing a puzzle. Look at me, I'm connecting lasers to things. I'm opening the gate. Wow, fantastic. What a good speedrun. All right, so I need to shove this cube directly into the corner, precisely like that. I need to line up such that I'm here. And then if I go slow 60 and I cross my fingers, I'm gonna go back to fast unlimited because I'm going to need to do some stuff as soon as I land. There's Happy Infant Prison. We've dodged it expertly, and we are onwards to the rest of B5. There we go. There was another one of those moments that we're really afraid of, because if I miss that, I have to restart checkpoint, which means I need to restring up that laser, because the laser is there turning on the fan platform, which will get me to that star. But we did it. We made it. Everything's coming up Millhouse. And once again, we've broken out a jammer, so we can go behind the Iron Curtain. Grab this sigil. And then enter the 36 chambers of Wu-Tang and grab one more. All right. All I've got to do now is steal this fan, jump out, drop it on there, and launch myself up to the star. So we've got another moment here for another donation or two if you've got them.
Of course. We have $100 from Sud here who says, Are we really saving the grubs though? Perhaps the grubs save us. And for those of you who don't know what they're referring to, we have a save or leave the grub incentive for the upcoming round of Hollow Knight.
Oh, awesome.
Let's see what it's at right now, actually. It's kind of a landslide towards save the grub with $3,000 to save and $645 to leave. Let's see if we can get a real challenge here.
Do you not feel the
Yeah,
pleasure
that one was a little bit more skewed than I thought it was going to be. We need to see some love for leaving the grub, saving some frames.
Yeah, I don't want the grub. Who wants a grub?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
revealed the true meaning of our sigils.
unfortunately, we're not going to learn the true meaning of the sigils because I'll reset to cut that dialogue. You'll have to play the game yourself to figure it out. Moving on to Crisscross Conundrum here. Another pretty easy level, but then after this is Egyptian Arcade, which is one of my favorite puzzles in the game because it is a strat as old as time, and by as old as time I mean from 2015 because that's when people started routing this game. This is the oldest strat that's left in the run, and it still holds true to this day. You just pop up onto this thing, go straight, slam your face into the wall so you don't get shot, and then grab the sigil. Beautiful and effective. Now, B7 is where the magic happens. This is where we start our journey towards cat ending. So don't let me forget. If I leave, if I leave without visiting the museum, definitely yell at me in chat that I've forgotten something. This jump is very peculiar. There we go. That corner is very finicky. Okay, this one's definitely a yeet for distance. We don't really need to be super precise on this one. All I want is to go as far as possible. So bye-bye, B7. Can maintain my speed by buffering some bunny hops, and we're right here. Conveniently with a cube to activate the button and grab our star. Alright. So this is actually a new-ish development, getting over this wall. When I first started running this game, I did not have a PC that was powerful enough to get the frame rate to get over that wall, so I needed to use a different route. But now, in the far-flung future of the year 2020, we can do it easily. While streaming and everything, I don't even need to set up a remote stream capture PC. Life is good. So this star that I'm getting is actually one of the coolest stars casually. You have to string together things from a couple of different puzzles to get the laser there, but since we've broken in a jammer, we can just jam. Here's Dr. Drennan. I mentioned her earlier when I was talking about the old video game code. She's gonna lore dump on us a little bit, which gives me an opportunity to rest my voice and not talk.
Beyond the edge of our solar system, continuing their long journey through interstellar space, like memories of our ambition, ambassadors who have outlived their homeland. And then
Unfortunately, we'll never know what Dr. Drennan thought because I'm too fast. So again, play the game yourself. Okay, so we got a Stargate now. Now, these are all predetermined patterns, so I can just memorize them, do them very quickly. We enter the first Star World. Now we're going to be introducing the gray sigils. You need all 9 gray sigils to get the messenger ending, which we won't be doing, but we still need all the sigils because we're getting all of the sigils in our run that is in the category of all sigils. Good job, class. All right. So we use a statue jump to get into there. We used to use a statue jump, but now we use a tree jump because trees are faster than statues. If you take nothing away from this run, just remember, the trees are faster than statues. What's the reason this is faster is because we can reset straight to the gate. And then one more tree jump into Cat's Cradle. I like how there are these little motifs in the run where you see 2 tree jumps there, but that's the only time you see 3 jumps just like that. Okay, so that's all of World B. Oh, and again, like I said, remember to yell at me about the museum. Thank you. All right. Anyways, I'm not used to doing this because it's not fast, but we got there. Okay, so hidden away in the far-flung reaches of B7 is a crowbar. Any fans of Crowbar Simulator 1998, 2004, 2005, or 2007 in my chat? I guess this isn't my chat. Whatever, it's my chat now. Anyways, we're going to be using this to enter the Museum of Cubes. Now, cubes are a fantastic shape. I'm a huge fan of cubes, Rubik's cubes, companion cubes, Magic the Gathering cube draft. All great. Cubes are great. Definitely one of the best platonic solids, probably top 5. But in one of these cubes, you have a cat. Where's the cat running off to? We'll see later. Piece of wood rolling down. This is my chat smile. So I'm sure all of the hardcore gamers in the chat are able to name all of those cubes from hit games such as Minecraft and Portal. Definitely deep cuts there. All right, onwards to World C for real this time. Okay. World C, like I mentioned, is our medieval castle, and we begin with C1, which again has a kind of nerve-wracking cube jump. There's a couple of cube jumps in World C that are dubious. I have setups for all of them, but the setups are mostly consistent.
You have come far.
So in C1, we've got one here for this puzzle is called Blowback. I definitely knew that and didn't need to check. First off, we need to make a cube elevator. Going up. Fantastic. And we gotta wait for the cube elevator anyway so that we can nab it. Perfect. We're gonna use the other cube to set up a jump here. So I want to go right there. And if the setup looks off, which it does, then I'll just do it again. That looks better. Better safe than sorry, I say, as I fly across the entire level. All right, fantastic. Shoutouts again to having speedrunners on your friends list. This one in particular is Emiphobiac. All right. So there's that sigil. I would love to apply these settings, thank you. And now, we don't have paint for this, but that's fine. It just makes it a little bit slower to go and grab this connector. But after this is, again, one of the more nerve-wracking parts of the run, especially for like world record attempt. In a marathon, it's whatever. If I miss it, I lose like 25 seconds. It's not the end of the world. But, you know, world record attempts, you lose 25 seconds. That's definitely the end of the run, so. And as a speedrunner, world record attempts are my entire world, so, you know, take what you can get. Need to grab this star, and if I fall in past this tree and don't land directly on the wall, the run is over. We all have to pack it up and go home. Never mind, we don't. I'm great at this game. Okay. Conservatory done. C1 done. It's another one I was sweating. Knocked off the list. Fantastic. All right. So we saw a fan slide earlier in B5. I'm going to do another one here, where I'm going to buffer a jump input using the journal, and then catch myself on the fan. Use it to slam my face into the wall there, which actually gives me a guided jump right up to the sigil. Makes it nice and fast. Oops. All right, climbing some cliffs using the paint. Getting a star and a sigil. One more little cliff hugger jump here.
But be wary of temptation.
To grab Jammer Quarantine. All right. Making our way across this bridge. We're going to do one more little mountain goat jump. And while I do that, go ahead and read another donation or two if you've got one.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a $555.55 donation from Gogo to Sika, who says, "The Talos Principle is one of my favorite games of all time. For this, a haiku inspired by the game. Remember this truth. Questioning all is progress. Doubt is stagnation."
Old gods. But for
Wow,
all their power,
that's insightful.
Profound.
they could not save
Profound.
their world.
Thank you very much for distracting the chat with that haiku while I failed my least favorite tree in the entire game for a while.
Okay, maybe you need this next one. $250 from Anonymous, who just says, "Good luck."
Thank you, Anonymous. I'm going to need it. That's not true. I'm not going to need it. I'm amazing at this video game. So, never mind. I'm going to need it. I'm terrible at this video game. All right. So that tree, I have a very naughty name for that tree that the producers have specifically asked me not to share. That's not true. But I would like to say that as a nod to the fact that I hate that tree just so much. So much that I can't even repeat how much I hate this tree on this family-friendly stream. So instead, we'll just move on. We'll just move on to Dumbwaiter. The Dumbwaiter has a 25 FPS cube jump, which is a little bit finicky because, you know, with a frame rate that low, you start getting into some less than precise territory as far as your inputs are concerned, but we manage it just fine. And we're actually going to stay at 60 FPS for the rest of this level and the beginning of the next level. Up close and jammed, we've got to put a nice little cube stack here, and if we jump on that ledge, we can actually jump to the top of the cube stack. Normally you can't jump to the top of a 2-cube stack, but because there's this little extra lip there, we actually have just enough to get onto it, which can jump us to this wall, which can jump us over to grab the sigil for Dumbwaiter that we skipped earlier. Another 2-cube stack. This one, as intended, supposed to do a 2-cube stack there to grab this jammer. But I'm actually going to steal away this cube and ride the mine. A little sneaky way to hide the star here. And then finally, we're going to use another 2-cube stack. This is actually a 1-cube stack. I lied. It's not a 2-cube. I'd slide to you. I'm sorry. That's incredibly rude of me. My apologies. And then head up, grab Time Flies. And then there's also a star hidden in Time Flies. There are 3 stars in this world, which is quite a lot. Another bump jump. This one's much easier because I have my frame rate set to 60, so it's not nearly as inconsistent as the one in A4. Okay. Moving on to here. So these puzzles are random. Oops. Oh, I make them look like they're random. So I have to have a 4,000 IQ to solve them quickly. Perfect. Onwards to the Star World.
Many ages have passed since the first words were spoken.
So here is the most finicky cube jump in the entire game. The setup is relatively precise, but the kicker is that there's this buzzer here that goes back and forth and will cut my line, making it so that I get the barrier back. And it'll also bump me out of the way, which will ruin my setup. But fortunately, I was able to do it quickly enough there. We land almost perfectly into the hole, so again, another thing that I can cross off the list. The rest of the Sea Star World is fairly easy. We just need to do a couple of nosy jumps over some barriers. Up to here, over to there. I need to get over this battlement. Fantastic. Up to this wall, to that floor. Gives us our 6th silver sigil. Say that 3 times fast. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. Okay. Onwards. D7. Crisscross Conundrum Advanced. This has a bit of a tricky nosy jump where I need to land on the fence. I don't want to go over the fence. I want to land on the fence. Fantastic. Now that we've done some fence sitting, some jumps get us to the back of the level where we can grab this sigil. All right, now we want to go over the fence. Now that we don't need to grab the sigil anymore, we can go over the fence or just land on it and jump down. Either way works. I'm actually going to grab a blue laser from Carrier Pigeon over there, walk into Dead Man Switch, and just use that blue laser to open this puzzle. And then use that blue laser to open this. Now this next jump is only possible on consoles. Okay. So we're going to jump over this wall. Perfect. All right, let's go back to let's play the video game for real. Thank you. All right. And another cycle-based level here, Carrier Pigeons. If you reset and then sprint, you actually have just enough time to walk in before the cycle resets and grab the sigil. Easy peasy. All right. So we're going to enter the Messenger Garden. I would like to invite everybody to take a nice look at this rock. Look at this rock. Look how beautiful this rock is.
Those who have discovered the holiest mysteries of my garden may come to serve me as
That's a new piece of tech. It saves a couple of seconds, but it's also super sweet, so I love it so much. It's pretty good. All right.
Be respectful.
Grabbing a star, moving on towards D4. Okay. Throne room. Another cube jump here. This one's very angle specific because I need to land on a thin stretch of roof. Well, I need to also land on a thin stretch of barrier, so let me do that first before I worry about the cube jump. There we go. I'm going to open up this barrier. I'm going to use this cube jump, but first I need the sigil. Very important. So we're going to actually half-cock that right there. Grab this. So having the cube at that angle lets me jump on it, which is normally not the case. That looks like a perfect angle, actually. Nice. We're going to fly and hopefully land on this tiled roof, which looks like we got just right. And I got to be very careful here because I can accidentally jam or glitch and soft lock myself. That would be not excellent. All right, now I got to find the paint. Looks like the paint is in oubliette, so that's not bad. I'm going to use this paint twice, once for armory. You can see that there's a nice QR code marking the paint jump spot. Very convenient. All right, made the jump. Fantastic. I do not want to quit game. I'm actually having a lot of fun playing this video game. I'd like to play it a little bit longer. Okay. And then stables. This cube jump is actually a little bit tricky because I can land very easily in Happy Infant Prison. So I need to be careful. There we go. Stand here, and yeah, that jump's tricky, but fortunately there's a very quick backup where we can just... There's a very quick backup where we can just get up on top of this wall and jump into the sigil. All right. C2. Looking up at my sigil readouts there, it looks like I haven't forgotten anything, which is quite nice. I gotta do a little bit of a paint hunt because it's on one of the far ones. Wow, ruining my speedrun by making me walk all the way out of the way. Oh, great, it was in the last place I looked.
And do not give in to temptation.
Up and over. I actually need to go and grab it again, all the way over by the money room. Okay. Now we're going to do a paint nozu here. And again, we have a relatively precise input and then trying to land right there up on the battlement. Fantastic. Grab the short wall sigil. I needed to keep the paint though, because I need to hit up once again. Make our way towards ditch and fence. Now this is the last red sigil in the game. We actually have almost all of the sigils right now. Or I guess this is the last red sigil as I actually make it over the fence. There we go. Kind of tricky jump. Not supposed to be able to jump over that fence, but that's fine. Ooh, I need to do Rapunzel as well. I lied. It's not the last. It's not the last sigil. I did some out of order sequencing here, but that's just fine. At least I didn't leave without remembering to do it. Haha, who would do that? Who would ever leave B7 without remembering to open the Cube Museum? Well, at least I got 2 tries at this. Hey, nice. There we go. All right. And so it is done.
And so it is done.
I just said that. Thank you.
Have overcome
So we've got to grab 2 more stars as well as 3 more sigils, and then we have to beat the game with the Transcendence ending to get the cat ending. So, for those of you who donated to the cat ending, again, thank you very much. We're going to be seeing some extra gameplay because of that we wouldn't see normally. We're going to see floors 4 and 5 as well as the top of the tower, which normally gets skipped because there aren't any sigils up there. Again, those puzzles. Wait, which one am I on? Last one I said it was completely random, right? Okay, so all those puzzles are the same every time, so you can memorize them. Good. Okay, I just gotta remember the next time I have to say that they're completely random. Right. Good. Gotta make sure that I've got the sequence in my brain. All right, so now we gotta start hacking. Enter. 2 3 215. I have successfully hacked. Fantastic. All right, now we have floor 3 open. So the code for floor 3 is actually on a post-it note, and a computer for floor 2. By the way, these puzzles are completely random, and you need a 4,000 IQ to solve them quickly. It's posted on a post-it note in floor 2, and it's the only code that is physically in the game. The rest of them are in those computer terminals, so they're random. So what we need to do now is go and open this one up. But unfortunately, I haven't unlocked the recorder, so I need to kind of finesse my way through here. This is a relatively precise positioning trick. Fortunately, I got it very quickly because I'm very good at this game. And we are once again hacking. So while I'm hacking, we've got time for a donation or two while I look at this plain text. By the way, InfoSec, don't put your passwords in plain text, 495.
We have a $20 donation from Autumn235 who says, Azo Squid. Hey, Azo. This doesn't look like Magic the Gathering. I can't believe I get to watch you during your birthday. You have been such a light in my life, and I'm really glad that you're a part of it. How do you solve those puzzles so fast? Aren't they random?
Well, the goldfish memory that I have, I keep saying that I have a 4,000 IQ. I, in fact, don't. I immediately forgot what the password was. 495. I put 425 into my brain, so oops. No one saw that. We'll edit that one out for the final cut. Don't worry about it. 495.
Also a $5 donation from the Ryan DS who says, I just finished the Talos Principle this weekend, and I am so pumped to see it get completely wrecked. It's an incredible game, and I'm sure it'll be an incredible run.
Thank you very much. All right, well, I input the code incorrectly that time, so maybe I need to call for serious time for the next code because I'm clearly incapable. Thank you for the happy birthdays. My birthday was 5 months ago, almost to the day, but thank you very much. All right, so this code, or this puzzle is completely random, but something memorized IQ. You get the joke. It's not funny anymore, but I'm gonna keep saying it because that's how I do. There we go. Don't see this one very often in the speedrun, so it's not as drilled into my muscle memory as the other random puzzles that I have memorized in my muscle memory. I don't remember where we are anymore. Okay, so we need to do a nice little curved jump around here to grab the keys. We're done, so. All right. Hacker voice, I'm in. Super serious time. Need to figure out what this code is. Again, it's stored in plain text. I can just hover my mouse right here. Look at the sacred numbers.txt. The sacred numbers are 868. That's an easy one to remember. It's 868. Don't let me forget 868. Everybody in the chat, help me out with 868. It's 868. That's 868.
Started with a 7, right?
I've done it. Okay. 868, interesting number. It's divisible by 4, but not by 3. All right. Those numbers actually are random, so I need to look at them every time. Oops. All right, this is a Tetris puzzle. This goes here. Okay. Now we've opened floor 5. I'm actually not going to go any further. Thank you very much, chat. Oh, Dr. Drennan's gonna get existential on us, so get your Bible thumps ready.
I think this is it. The end of me.
All right. So we've gotten 1 star. I just need to
I don't believe that
break this guy out here. Fortunately, jammers are incredibly thin.
I would like to think that there is
There we go.
a soul or spirit.
All right, now as we jump down, Dr. Drennan is clearly dying of whatever is killing all of the humans, and she's espousing about it. That was actually the best bounce I've gotten in a long time. All right, whatever. I'm done listening to her complain about whatever she's complaining about. I don't know, some like life-ending, humanity-destroying super virus or something. Whatever. We've all been there. So now downwards to world A for the A star world, and then we're gonna grab the last 3 sigils and then move on towards the tower. So these puzzles are puzzles. Whoa. All right. Now the motif in this one is the axe. We're gonna be using the axe a lot here. There's a cool little puzzle where you're supposed to grab the axe and then use it to get into the puzzle Dum Dum Mine, which I'm about to. You're not supposed to use it to get into the puzzle like that, but supposed to cut down a tree that's in the way of the mine, and it's all very cool, and it's outside the box, and it's a technique that's not used anywhere else in the game, so you need to kind of like figure your way through it, and it's very cool, but I'm just gonna use it as a jumping tool. Fantastic. So now I'm actually going to hit this checkpoint so that when I restart again, it's going to put me in front of Dum Dum Mine instead of at the beginning of the level, which is going to save a little bit of time. That's what we're all here about, right? So saving a little bit of time. There we go. Gotta stand in just the right spot, and we'll get yeeted up the wall. And then finally, this jump is relatively precise. You need to get a good angle so you don't just like shove yourself over. Finally, we have all of the sigils in the entire game. So now we must finish. We'll finish strong, climbing the tower. So again, this is the super secret. It's not really that secret. I mean, literally, like, it's not that secret. You can see the tower. It's pretty big. It's hard to miss. But we're gonna be climbing the tower as Elohim often commands us not to. So we'll be heading up there. I've been using the elevator glitch for the entire run. I just haven't been mentioning that. Unless you skip the elevator animation by hitting the buttons in a certain order. That's it. Nothing too exciting. Okay, so I want to stand on this button. Wait, I lied. I don't want to stand on this button. I want to make the fan stand on the button. There we go. I solved the puzzle. Second try. That trick's really hard, but second try is pretty good. Now, again, just like the jammer, the cubes are pretty thin, and if I aim myself correctly, the robot should also be pretty thin. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we don't go. There we are. So that skips this puzzle, which is good because that puzzle sucks. Anyways,
What have you done?
we're climbing the tower.
Why have you ascended the tower? Why have you betrayed my faith in you?
Now, you may have noticed that this game has some minor religious
I gave you
undertones.
This land to be yours, a garden in a world of thorns and thistles.
I don't know. I personally don't see
All
it, but
this was granted to you on but one condition. That
like some
you
sort of
do
allegory
not
or something. I don't
ascend
know.
the
I just play video
tower.
games.
That was our
They
first
don't pay me to
covenant,
read.
and you have broken it.
All right. So here's the tower, the big final boss puzzle.
The tower is death.
And there are two things that can go very wrong, which is unfortunate because we would have to restart here every time. So I'm going to do my very best to not do anything wrong.
Yes, the tower leads out of this
First things
world.
first, we need to get on top of the
Leads to
wall because,
freedom
of course we do. It's a Talos principle speedrun. We
It
gotta get on top of the
also
wall. We've been getting on
leads
top of
to
the wall for the
end
past, what,
of us.
however long this run's been going? I'm gonna be optimistic and say the last, like, 43 minutes. I don't have my timer running. I can't handle that kind of pressure. All right, here's the first thing that can go wrong. It didn't go wrong. Fantastic. We've ramped ourselves up. Need to connect those and then make a jump. Fantastic. All right, that closes the bridge. We want to link these two things up. We're doing some actual puzzling here. With these two things, we're going to place it directly right there. And that positioning is very precise and very important. When we turn that fan on, it's going to blow the connector off. And the connector is going to disconnect, which is going to close that barrier, which is going to block the jammer, which is going to unjam the fan, which is going to blow us up to the next level. Fantastic. So let's see if all of that works as intended. And we have an audio cue here, so I need to shut up for once in my miserable life. Easy. Okay. So here's the last thing in the run that can go wrong. So of course it's going to go wrong. I need to inch myself around here. So get your Monka S ready. Oh, okay, we made it. Easy.
This
Easy.
world may be an illusion, but as long as
And if there's one thing that you can take away from this run,
it's real. It sustains
there's one
us.
thing.
It
Okay,
gives us hope.
one thing you need to remember: to yeet thyself into heaven.
You were always meant to defy.
That was the Talos principle. All sigils in whatever the time it was. Time is coming up as soon as I type /transcend into the console.
I wanted to live forever.
I think it's a good enough time to remind everybody the trans rights are human rights. And time is coming up in 3, 2, 1. Easy. So, now we have the cat ending. So we can treat ourselves to this cutscene of the simulation destroying as we have finally transcended the test. We have passed.
Will be done.
And we are ready to go into the real world. I do love cubes. Cubes are pretty great. I don't know why there wasn't one of these in the Cube Museum. It would have been nice. Nice Rubik's Cube ASMR while we wait. something 400 IQ. Something literally memorizing algorithms. Okay. So there's some visual similarity with a scene from Black Mirror. I won't spoil it because it's a good show, you should watch it. But I'm sure Black Mirror fans will probably make the connection and will be pleased to know that this cutscene is about exactly the same length as Belinda Carlisle's Heaven is a Place on Earth. It makes for a fantastic viewing experience. Yo, there's a hype train incoming. Can you believe it? Thank you everybody for your donations, for the bits, for the subs. I hope you enjoyed my run. I've been working on this game for pretty much since it came out in December of 2014. So, and I can't really take credit for most of the routes. That would be a lot of the scientists in the Talos Discord. Can't name all of them. I mentioned Nozu a lot from the Nozu jump, but we've got dozens of people behind the scenes that are making this work, and I couldn't have gotten to run this fast without them. I remember my first PB was like 2.5 hours, so that was terrible. But we have kind of improved ourselves over time, so that's fantastic. So yeah, if you enjoyed my run, I would appreciate it. This is my self-plug section, sorry. I would appreciate it if you come to my Twitch channel, give me a follow. I appreciate it. It's the best way to support me. And if you didn't enjoy my run, well, I guess Superliminal is pretty cool, and that's coming up next, so hopefully you like that one instead. All right. Our hardware is booting. He's beginning to believe. Oh yeah, also running this cutscene at a casual 1200 frames per second, don't worry about it. And we have to go into the new world with a friend. Yeah. So this is why the Talos Principle icon on Twitch. I don't know if you can even see game icons anymore with the new layout, but for a while, the Talos Principle game icon had the robot holding a cat. People are like, what? There's no cat. Where's the cat? Here's the cat. We did it. We have the cat. So the cat only appears if you go into that cube museum and free it from the cube. But now we have a friend as we go into the great, scary unknown. So, as we zoom out on the Institute for Applied Noematics, that's going to be the end of the run. I sure hope that they didn't cut away before the cat ending happened. Seeing some panic in chat, but that's going to be it for me. Thank you, everybody. And again, like I said, Superliminal is coming right up, so stick around for that. It's a very cool game. If you haven't heard of it, it's the puzzle game, first-person puzzle game where you're kind of playing with perspectives and changing the sizes and shapes of things based on where you grab them and put them down, and it's just a fantastic experience overall. So enjoy that, and I will see you all hopefully at Awesome Games Done Quick 2021. Have a good rest of the week.
We have a $25 donation from Zamek, who says, been watching since CDGQ, haven't been able to donate in a very long time due to finances. Now things seem to be turning around, so I wanted to donate. Great work with everything you guys do. Thank you, Zamek. And with that, we're going to go to a Twitch ad break. So we'll see you guys in just a minute.
There is a world that exists beyond our own, hidden on the edge of shadows. To liberate this realm, we must become the warrior of darkness.
Hello there.
Wonderful evening. In a few minutes here, we're going to get to Superliminal by CRISPR, running any percent warpless. That's going to be a blast. Have you guys seen Superliminal before? Because even if you have, I don't know if you really have. This game is like crazy dreams and perspective, and I don't actually even know how to describe it, but it's a blast, so stay tuned. Let's read a couple donations. How about $100 from Quantum Max, who says, "Long-time watcher, first-time donator. Never have attended one of these in person, but I always enjoy the week of great games from these events. It is sad that this event couldn't be hosted live this year, but I'll do what I can to make this still be the most successful GDQ ever." And we have a $500 donation from Insanor, who says, "I don't need sleep, I need more awesomeness. Keep up on the good work. Love from France." $10 from Tyler Salt, who says, more cats at GDQ, please. Shoutouts to Azorae for destroying the Talos principle. We have $20 from Gadget Girl, who says, things I learned today. Trees are faster than statues. The cake is a lie. Yeah, I learned those same things, actually. We have an anonymous $250 donation. We have another $250 donation from Stefan194. We have a $1,000 donation from Stuhlen. And get ready for this, guys. We have an anonymous donation for $2,500. Wow, the generosity tonight is crazy. That's probably why we passed 200K. We have a $200 donation from Piece of Hannah 41, who says, I don't know anything about this game yet, but I know my mom loves it and is tuning in for this run. So shout outs to her for being an awesome and supportive human. Thanks GDQ runners and volunteers for making this special event happen, especially during these crazy times. We have a $20 donation from Michael.